Steven. How nice to have you.
Thomas.
How nice to have you in the program of Leading Complexity. For those who don't know you, briefly, who are you?
Okay, well, I started my business career in the early 1980s at the Boston Consulting Group, and I spent close to 20 years there in the London and Munich offices. And then I left and joined a group called the Ashridge Strategic Management Center with all ex-BCG and McKinsey partners, and actually discovered that McKinsey partners aren't as bad as we thought they were when I was at BCG, and we all got on fine. And the subject that I worked on was strategy execution. And I published a book in 2010 called The Art of Action, which was reissued just in the summer of 2021 to give a 10th anniversary edition. And it's been selling steadily, and it's mainly what I work on these days.
How nice to hear. So this program will be about complexity. So why do you think that leaders should care about complexity?
Well, I think if I were forced to name the single biggest barrier to successful execution, I would say it is complexity. Complexity leads to confusion, it creates ambiguity, it's very difficult to see your way through. The danger is that people jump to conclusions and try to simplify it in a simplistic way. But the challenge for senior leaders is to master complexity and understand the simplicity, the simple truths that lie behind it.
Oh, yes. So you're mentioning leaders and the complexity. What would you say are the biggest challenges for leaders that are facing complexity?
Yeah, well, I think the people who are best able to deal with this are usually people who have a great deal of operational experience, but can also zoom out from all the details of the day-to-day and see how they all fit together. Because the art is really grasping the essential point, what really matters, the drivers of business success, and articulating those and being able to put that message across so that the people who really need to hear it do hear it and understand it. And that's quite a big challenge, actually. It takes a lot of time, effort, and debate to do that.
Oh, yes. So when it comes to what you are talking about, what would you say is your key message to leaders that are navigating in complexity?
I'd say there's one thing not to do, which is to make detailed plans, because the future's not yet been fully determined. But you do have to set a compass heading. You have to turn activity into action, which is activity plus direction. And in order to do that, you have to simplify the complexity. What's not been made simple can't be made clear, and what's not been made clear will not get done. And the way to do that is to work through what you really, really want. To quote the Spice Girls, tell me what you really, really want. Never mind all the KPIs and work plans and initiatives and goals and all the rest of the stuff. What is the essential point? To explain that to your people with the context, and then let them go away and have a think and come back and tell you what they're going to do as a result. And then you have a debate about that. And that process goes on at all levels in the organization.
This, yes, sounds so simple when you are talking about it, but when you had your session, what would you say that typically the participants will bring with them?
Well, I think they'll understand that it takes a lot of effort to do this. I think as you say, the principles involved are very easy to understand, but it's difficult to do because it means acquiring a skill. This business of setting direction is something that is not actually commonly taught anywhere, not in business schools as far as I know, but it's a core part of an executive's job. And so I'm going to give you some examples of people who've actually managed to do that, to simplify complexity in a meaningful way and introduce you to some techniques that you can actually practice at work. The technique of what I call strategy briefing and back briefing, so it's a technique and a process, and basically encourage you to have a go. And the more often you do it, the better at it you will get. It's hard to start, but the rewards, if you continue, can be very great.
Wow. I'm really looking forward to the session you have October 12th. So thank you very much for this preview, if we can call it that. And I just wish you a very good summer. And again, looking very much forward to hear you again. You're such
Thank you, Thomas.
source of wisdom. Yes. Thank you very much.